Nothing but chaff piled up. There was one that got so close to my barrel, when I dropped him, he was reaching for me. Seemed like he was tip of his finger wasn't over, it seemed like 2 feet from the end of my barrel. And he had a big old bloody bandage around his forehead. He must have got hit to start with, and they bandaged him up and sent him back. And that's how close he got to me. What a sight. And I checked my ammunition, see how much rounds I had left in the barrel. Couldn't have had over a dozen. Couldn't have had over a dozen. And I heard some footsteps behind me. I thought, who's that? And I turned around and I couldn't believe my eyes. It was General Cates, Colonel Dillon, battalion commander, and I don't know who all their staff. Single file. Walked right up behind me, up to me. And the old general said, it looks like you had a real bad night here. And I said, yes, I guess you can say that. Man, oh my, he said. My, oh my. And there they were, just piled up. And what sight was, that old one laying there on the ground with that bloody bandage around his forehead. That close to my gun. And 1,500 rounds of empty shells there in a pile. I took through that gun. The general said, well, you got quite a few of them, didn't you? I said, yes, I did. He said, do you have any idea how many you killed? I said, no, I don't. All I can tell you, I fired 1,500 rounds through that barrel, and I was on them all the time when I pulled the trigger. But he said, you must have some idea how many you killed. I said, no, I don't. I stressed it again. I wanted to say a large number, but I didn't dare to. I wouldn't say. Finally, I said, only God can tell you that, how many I killed. You see the empty shells, you see the bodies. Same as I do. Well, I want to congratulate you for a job well done. A job well done. Shook my hand, about-faced, headed back to the rear. And everybody in the rank took turns coming up, shaking hands with me, congratulating me for a job well done. Big Charlie was sitting over there, eyes like sausage. Couldn't believe it. So he come over where I was, shook my hand. He said, Don, I want to shake your hand too, for saving my life. I said, Charlie, I didn't see you right. He said, oh yes you did. One time the other guys, they got up, they were stirring around, some of them walked over where I was, shook hands with me. Sam Haddad, he was an acting lieutenant, took over the platoon. Lieutenant Drake had got killed a few days before that, so Sam had the platoon. He come over and shook hands with me, which he'd hollered at me all night during the attack. Make sure you're on the group, make sure you're on the group. I said, don't worry about it, Sam, I'm right on the group. So, I sat around there for a while, like I was in a state of shock, you know, I mean, I was cool, and I never got scared, like I had before. I think I was in another world, I felt like I was 10 foot tall, which I really did. Guys come from all over. Well, to my left, not to my right, to my left. So they wanted to shake hands with the guy that fired that machine gun all night. Guys I never knew of, they were from other outfits. But they heard that gun rattle all night long, and they could sure hope they'd like to have a chance to shake that Marine's hand. He said, how that old gun was giving them Japs hell. And it was a real honor and proud feeling in their hearts to shake my hand. Well, as I get there, I felt 10, 12 foot tall. Well, later on, just a little while there, I happened to look down on the ground for my rifle, my little carbine, and all I had left on it was a barrel and a little splinter of wood. That rifle would blow right up. I see that rifle laying around on the ground alongside of me, and they were throwing them knee mortars at me and hand grenades, and I never got a scratch. Unbelievable, ain't it? I never got a scratch. So I showed Big Charlie my rifle, and he laughed. He said, "Well, gone down." He says, "You never got hit. You better look at yourself. You got to be hit." I said, "No, I'm not hit, Charlie." We stayed around there for a few hours, and we moved out of there. Well, our section was cleared. The battle was over with. Over to the right, where the 25th Regiment was, they had another skirmish over there, I guess. Last pocket of resistance. They cleaned them out. So, I guess now my memories come back pretty well. About that night, there's things I haven't said. But I've did my best here to make up this tape, and I hope now that whoever listens to it will understand. Put yourself in my position that night, and come out of that battle without a scratch. Without a scratch. Years later on, I find out through the Marine Corps archives in Washington, D.C. about that battle that night. Exact situation. Colonel Dillon's boys, 2nd Battalion, machine gun. My gun they're talking about. And they counted over 700 Japs out there in that area. 700 dead Japs. And I'm not saying, make any statement to whoever listening to this tape that I try to take credit for 700 Japanese. I have no idea, like I say, only God can say how many Japs I killed that night. I've got friends, especially one, Eddie Davis, was a company clerk. I saw him last summer, one night, at one of our reunions. Thought about that night, and he said, "Don, there's no doubt in my mind, he said, that you had a minimum that night of at least 300. A minimum of 300. He said, "No doubt in my mind." I said, "Eddie, I don't know. Maybe so, maybe more, maybe less. But what's the difference anyway?" I did my job that night. With God's help, He was with me, and that's the way it was. I still say that. Only God can tell me or anybody else, how many Japs I killed that night. I know that was one of the hellish nights of all combat nights I've been in, and I've been through a lot of them. I've been banzai attacks on Saipan and Tinian, but I've never seen anything like that. True story. If I pull one lie, stretch the truth one bit here as I make up this tape. If I have done that, I hope God strikes me down right in my tracks, as I say here in this chair. I told the truth. So I hope any of you people now that listen to this tape will believe me and say it was truly a miracle that Don lived through that battle that night all hellfire directed against him.